This is no ordinary fish tank, because in 1 year, it will evolve into a complete ecosystem. Here is full of the cruelty of nature, as well as the rhythm of life and endless possibilities. They cuddle with each other, sharing the peaceful and harmonious waters. And the origin of the ecosystem starts with an ancient octagonal fish tank. Dismantle the fish tank, drain the water, and relocate the fish. Remember what I said, establishing an ecosystem is a process of finding and solving problems. After simple decoration, start adding water. When the tank is full, life begins to emerge immediately and in large numbers. Snails can keep the tank clean because they will suck on almost anything. Here not only is the food abundant, but there is also no danger. The little ones quickly fell in love with it here, and all grew fat and healthy. On the 6th day, I found a layer of oil film floating on the surface. This is a quite normal phenomenon, but the snails couldn't solve this problem alone. So, some cherry shrimp are needed to help clean out. They eat almost anything, including that delicious oil cake. Let's see how the little shrimp work. If I'm not mistaken, he should be knitting a sweater, right? Forget it. Let's not bother him. Next, I added some small freshwater clams, which can eat up the waste and leftover food in the water, helping to promote the natural circulation in the tank. Today is the 48th day, and we encountered a very beautiful problem. This is duckweed. It reproduces very quickly. Although it looks beautiful, too much duckweed can affect the water quality and other aquatic organisms. At the same time, I also plan to keep some African dwarf frogs. They are very curious creatures and always like to be in and out of the water. In order to keep them in the tank, I added a glass board as a cover. On the 54th day, the frogs arrived, and all my efforts were finally rewarded. I have succeeded in creating this tank. Although it's just a small tank, it has an extremely rich and diverse ecosystem, and I'm very satisfied with it. Now I want to name it. Do you have any suggestions? But it seems to have been damaged during the journey. Okay, now it's really damaged. And next, I'm going to use the most primitive, simplest, and most brutal method. After 3 days of effort, we successfully defeated the demon. Today is the 107th day. The ecosystem is running smoothly. All creatures are performing their duties well. The cherry shrimp are also very healthy. Some of the female shrimp are even pregnant. You can see many eggs under their abdominal appendages, moving with their steps, randomly flicking away a few unlucky ones. And now, this ecosystem has matured. But if we want to take it to the next level, we need more microorganisms. They are the cornerstone of a healthy ecosystem. So let's get started. These are some animal eggs. When water is added, they will hatch. We are cultivating them in a separate container to give them the best chance of survival. A few days later, they hatched. I'm sure everyone can see. These are algae. So I decided to add them all to the fish tank. But just a few weeks later, their numbers got completely out of control. It's obvious. The ecological balance is being disrupted. So now it's time to introduce predators. This is Ruby and Handsome. He was introduced as a miniature predator to give him an ideal home. Unlimited food is not enough for him, so he also needs a girlfriend. This is Beauty, his future girlfriend. Hope they get along well. It would be better to upgrade the nest. But the situation with the fry is dire. This guy Handsome does nothing but harass Beauty. So we had to fish them out and then reintroduce them. This time, we'll put Beauty in first, giving him enough geographical advantage. But strangely enough, he immediately hid. Then I put Handsome in. He seemed a bit bewildered, seemingly reminiscing about the gentleness just now. Half a minute later, he made a move, because he noticed something else. These little algae never had a chance. They could only be at the mercy of Handsome. And Beauty still chose to hide. Perhaps he was scared to death by Handsome just now. To prevent Beauty from starving, we added some water worms. Sure enough, no fish can resist the temptation of water worms. I think he should slowly adapt here. On the 183rd day, we added a Thai micro crab. This kind of crab eats almost anything, but it's not very good at hunting. But that's not a problem, we will add more hunters later. On the 205th day, I want to see how many creatures are in the aquarium with some food. That's right, it will be a feeding frenzy for the animals. I cooked a piece of broccoli and slowly sank it to the bottom of the tank. At first, there was no reaction. Even half a day later, only a few animals were occasionally nibbling. But on the second day, a magical scene unfolded. Many little mouths joined in, including that little crab. Waterworms began to inhabit the broccoli. I thought this was quite good. At least the housing crisis was resolved. As the broccoli decomposed, the smell attracted the shrimp as well. While the animals enjoyed their feast, they were unaware of a new predator nearby. This is an assassin snail. It only eats snails, so the crab didn't care. The assassin snail had just been introduced. Wasted no time rushing over. Maybe it smelled the food. Through tapping on the glass, we got a close-up of the assassin snail. It has eyes, but its sense of smell is more useful. It uses its siphon to sniff out the next victim. Sharp proboscis-like organ to penetrate the prey's shell or carapace, then release digestive juices to soften and consume the prey. A few minutes later, it had eaten all the food and then disappeared into the vegetation, planning its next hunt. A few minutes later, it had eaten all the food and then disappeared into the vegetation, planning its next hunt. Plan to catch prey. On the 320th day, I ordered a janitorial crew online to help clean up the trash. Of course, the most important thing is to help clean up the water. On the 365th day, at the ecosystem in the aquarium finally reached African algae frogs. High-temperature sterilization of collected materials, and then arranged in the new tank, and detailed decoration. This is his new look. How does it look? Isn't it much better? About 10 minutes later, the disturbed little animals gradually recovered. Their curious exploration seemed to have discovered a miracle. At this time, I found waterworms are occupying the water area, about to become the new overlords. You mean, where did handsome man Beauty go? Dawn, right? On the 320th day, I bought a cleaner online to help with garbage cleanup. Of course, the most important thing is to help clean up the waterworms. Ha ha ha. On the 365th day, the ecological environment in the aquarium finally reached a balance. I'm ready to add some African algae frogs. This ecosystem is built for algae frogs. Their arrival makes the whole aquarium more lively. With time, the ecosystem gradually improves. Each creature plays an important role in it. From the initial few snails to the various coexisting creatures today, this aquarium has become a miniature natural miracle. Here, the life rhythm and ecological balance are maintained, showing the magic of nature. Alright, guys, that's it for this episode. God experience card expire. Do you want to renew it? See you next time. Bye bye. Darling, you look so beautiful.